2 seconds here. I knew I forgot something. Had to get everything lined up. And I think we should be good to go here in just a moment. This is Monday night. If you are just tuning in, I am Chief Meteorologist Austin Audick from News 12 in downtown Chattanooga. I want to make sure that everything is working here before we get going too quickly. It is the 1st of April, but no April Fool's joke about what may be coming our direction as we get into tomorrow. If you've had any plans for outdoors anytime soon, we could be looking at the potential of some problems with severe weather going on. The 1st of April that we're going to be focusing on for tonight, so stay tuned for more on that. We are live. It sounds like audio is doing all right, and we'll get more details again about what's going on with the forecast coming up here in just a little bit, so stay tuned for that. Welcome to everybody who's tuning in on Facebook, and, we were on Facebook, but again, I got hacked, so unfortunately, until Facebook gives me back control of my account, which I don't have at this point, and apparently nothing I do is good enough for Facebook, so I don't know if they want a blood type or something else, but I'm not going to be able to get in back onto Facebook anytime soon because of the fact that we have got just apparently I'm not good enough to be me for the me that they're looking for. So we'll be on YouTube and Twitch until a little bit later on when I can finally get back in the game with Facebook on that, but if they don't want me, I guess I'm pretty much out in the cold at this point in time. All right, so let's go ahead and get going with a little bit of some nicer stuff before we delve into the meat and potatoes of what's going on. Thanks to News 12 viewer Helen Newsom from Lafayette, Georgia, for a very nice view of areas down with a cloud cover in and around portions of northern Georgia. Thank you very much for keeping an eye on what's going on down there. Excuse me. Allergies also are doing a number on me, so I'm doing my best to keep my voice functional. But unfortunately, as of right now, I may sound a little bit more scratchy to you than anything else. So it's doing my best on that. And I apologize for anything that doesn't sound totally professional-wise when it comes to my voice. If you are going to be able to send us some pictures, we'd love to be able to see what you're looking at out there. Again, drop them off to us. Email them to us at pictures@wdef.com. You can go to our social media channels to see what everybody else has been doing. You can post your pictures there and give us a description. And brand new, wdef.com/photos. If you'd like to both submit your pictures and look at what everybody else is doing when it comes to anything involving pictures from around the area. You don't have to be in this area to take the pictures and send them in. We'll take them. What we need is just a location and a description. You can be anonymous if you want to, so that in and of itself should give you a decent amount of being able to just get your picture out there. So thanks to everybody who's sent in some great pictures so far. Would love to see more about what you're looking at out there. 76 the high temperature, 67 the low, way above where our normals are supposed to be for this time of the year. So we are picking up again some very warm conditions across much of the area, and we again continue to see the potential for some very warm couple of days for today and tomorrow. After that, the temperatures are going to be kind of dropping quite quickly, and we'll talk more about that coming up here in just a little bit. Thanks to everybody for voting in our friendinroofing.com weather poll of the day. Between 2015 and 2020, Chicago's Willis Tower was struck how many times by lightning? 100, 250, 400, or over 1,000, and 39% of you, just squeaking out 36% of you, said the correct answer, 250. Hardly anybody voted for 400, and 20% of you, 1 out of 5, voted for 1,000. Mr. Andrew Harrison tonight, my co-anchor, voted for 1,000. Kay Blevins, my other co-anchor, voted for 250, and so she got the correct answer, as did the majority of you. We'll have a new poll going up at midnight, so stay tuned for more there. Thank you, friendinroofing.com, for being our sponsor for our weather/science poll of the day. And again, if you would like to see one of our weather polls or to vote in them, head to our website, WDEF.com/vote now. and or use the QR code on your screen here to find out more about what's going on and where. But thanks to everybody for pitching in on that for the entire weekend. And as of right now, also on rainfall, we're behind for the month and the year because we just started a brand new month today. No rainfall came down, and we're about 2/3 of an inch behind for the year. So we're doing relatively okay on rainfall. We'll probably get a lot more coming up in the next few days. For our Island Cove Marina and Resort tracker boats outdoors forecast tomorrow, numbers will be very pleasant, but not a good place to be out on the water, as we see again more chances of showers and thunderstorms into tomorrow afternoon. And that also involves going out. If you're going to be doing anything, heading out for a round of golf, you might get a lucky round in during the morning as we see more showers begin to develop, and then afternoon and evening, that's where we see the potential of some more showers and or thunderstorms coming our direction. Looking out over Island Cove Marina and Resort, Sylvester the Spider hanging out and drawing his web for this evening. And waters are pretty calm, even though we've got some pretty good breezy conditions out here. All of our cameras on the EPB Fiber Optics WeatherCam network available on the EPB page of WDEF.com/weather if you'd like to drop by there. 72 degrees, that again, very nice thanks to those southerly winds. And then also looking at dew points much higher than what they were last week. Last week we had dew points down into the 20s. Now we're back in the 60s, much closer to the air temperature. And that means we are going to be getting the potential of some more rainfall coming in with this very warm, moisture-rich air across much of the area. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the everything here to tell you a little bit more about what is going on. All my graphics are somehow way out of order, so give me a second to reconnoiter this for just a second. What we're going to be looking at is the potential of, again, showers and thunderstorms coming our way. We'll time out the severe weather situation here in just a little bit, so stay tuned for more on that. The best possibility of hail as we get into tomorrow is going to be well to our north, so that does not appear to be a major concern for now, but it is one of the concerns. The moving wind particles on here, everything moving its way from south to north, so we've got a lot of breeze pushing its way up into the rest of the southeastern United States. What we also have is sitting off to our north and west a fairly powerful storm system, and this one is again giving us the potential. This is giving me a bit of a headache, unfortunately. This system needs to... There we go. Okay, sorry about that. There we go. That's our latest storm system coming in from the west, and that is going to be giving us the potential of some problems as we get into the next couple of days, especially tomorrow as this system begins to slam into all this moisture-rich and unstable air. That will be, again, the best potential of seeing the worst of the worst conditions coming our way into tomorrow. Now, I'm going to time this out, but we're going to get rid of the clouds and everything else in here. We're going to go through tomorrow morning. In the morning, early on, commute time, heading off for school or work, back to work on Tuesday. A few scattered showers expected, but not that much. As we get into lunchtime or so, that is where we see the potential of maybe some showers developing back to the west of us. It looks like most of the activity, the heaviest activity, is going to be well back to our north and west. So I don't see a lot happening immediately onward. So that is good news to start off with. But if you take a look at what goes on right after about 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, that's where we get into the potential of more thunderstorms developing. Excuse me. And this also is ahead of this main line. What does that have to do with anything? You have the main line itself of storms developing, the squall line here. Anything that forms out in advance of this line, that is where we may see the worst of the worst activity. The heaviest thunderstorms, the best possibility of anything in the way of standalone supercells could form in and around this area for right now. So severe weather chances, I think, are going to begin roughly right after noon or so, and then that is going to be giving us the best possibility of problems. That goes right on into about rush hour time and into about dinner time tomorrow night, just before sunset. that's where everything really starts to get very, very active. And that is why we're going to be seeing more problems with the forecast into tomorrow evening. Again, early tomorrow morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, I don't see that much happening. But then we get into tomorrow evening, and everything along that line really starts to pick up a lot of energy. Now, the front itself will be back to the west of that, and that'll be closing in on us as we go throughout the next few hours. I think through News 12 at 11, we'll be seeing several hours worth of heavy rain, good possibility of some frequent lightning, and the potential of some hail, but the main potential is going to be watching for the possibility of thunderstorms. Midnight Wednesday, we're going to be right in the thick of it with that leading edge making its way through northwest Georgia, the News 12 viewing area right here, southeast Tennessee, northwest Georgia, northeastern areas of Alabama, and extreme western South Carolina. So that is where we're going to be picking up the best potential as we go into tomorrow afternoon and evening. The main threat for tonight will be well to our west, and we'll come up on that coming up here in just a little while. But for now, tonight doesn't look like much of anything. Tomorrow, that is where we really start to see the best potential out there. And I'm sorry, I'm keeping my eyes on a concurrent updating computer model off to the side here just to make certain there's nothing going on at this point. Okay, now into Wednesday morning, it looks like most everything should be through. By the time we hit Wednesday morning, there could be some leftover showers and thunderstorms possible as we get out of Wednesday morning and go into the rest of Wednesday afternoon. All of this should be clearing the area, and I think we'll be done with basically everything that we have out there. And then the cold air wraps around the backside of that system, and that is where we see the potential of some stronger weather out there. Now, again, here we are in the News 12 viewing area. Back to the west of us, that is where we're seeing the worst conditions possible. Scale up here, and again, a severe outbreak would be a moderate or a high level. We had moderate back this direction around the Red River up into parts of areas of Missouri, Kansas, and northeast Oklahoma. This is where, again, tonight we'll be seeing the threat of any severe weather. Note there's nothing going on for where we are. Now we get into Tuesday, and that's where things really start to pick up. And keep in mind, this day 2 forecast is still several hours old, so we're going to be watching with a lot of interest to see what actually happens here. This is going to be the forecast. Again, this is going to change in the next several hours. It is just 10 o'clock Eastern time, so the next update on all of this will be coming up at midnight and afterwards, 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, where we'll get a better idea as to what's going to happen into Tuesday. Note again for the News 12 viewing area, the enhanced risk, that's right basically smack in the middle of the scale, that is not going to be showing the worst of the worst. That's going to be back up here with that moderate threat of severe weather. Down to the south and east of Chattanooga into portions of western North Carolina and northwest Georgia, there's not as much threat as we see with the enhanced risk, but there is still a threat, a slight risk. It's lesser, but keep in mind that all of the News 12 viewing area has some form of severe weather threat for right now, and that includes the slight lesser threat here, but that still means that severe weather is possible. So, excuse me, you've got to make certain you take care of keeping up to date with what is going on. Now, by Wednesday, that threat is gone. There's nothing left of all of that, so there's little, if anything, really happening as we get out of this system and everything plows away back toward the east. Any threat of significant hail, News 12 viewing area, again, down here toward the bottom of your screen. Significant hail, 1 or 2 inches plus, Ohio, West Virginia, northern Kentucky, southeastern parts of Indiana is going to be the worst of the worst activity coming up there. But as we go into tomorrow, the tornado threat has raised to about a 10% probability chance, and we haven't seen anything this high of a level for at least 2 years, somewhere in there. So maybe a year and a half, give or take, somewhere in there. We have not had too much in the way of any major amounts of threats come through. And this is about as high as we have seen for quite some time. And that includes basically all of the News 12 viewing area. Again, the least possibility, but still about a 5% chance. That is for western North Carolina and areas of north central Georgia. This is where it really gets interesting, because tomorrow, Chattanooga and around the area of Hamilton County, right there in the center portion of everything, this is the map for the possibility of a significant tornado threat. What does that mean? It means there's enough energy, enough buoyancy, enough moisture in the atmosphere, enough energy from the storm system coming on in to create storms that will be capable of making EF2 tornadoes or more powerful than that. And that'll be for tomorrow afternoon and evening. And again, starting well out west of us here in the News 12 viewing area, that'll be moving our direction throughout the rest of the day. So with this, especially here in parts of Middle Tennessee, not exactly Kansas, eastern Arkansas type flat, but a lot flatter than the surface over here in this area with the hills and valleys and the foothills of the Appalachians. So it's probable that we will see less of this as the storm moves east. The main thing to concentrate on is if we see stuff like this being issued by the Storm Prediction Center, it is time to sit up and take notice and make certain that you have a severe weather plan going on. Now, this could all disappear tonight at about 2 o'clock Eastern time if the Storm Prediction Center sees that things are backing off a little bit, and I hope that's what happens. I never cheer for severe weather events. They're in and of themselves fascinating, but they're also, and they can be, even the weaker situations can be deadly. So we want to make certain everybody's aware of the danger of the situation, the potential of the situation. This is not hyping the weather under any circumstances. And if you call it that, then I would have a bone to pick with you. Stationed back in Memphis accused me of hyping the weather, and we have never really been on good speaking terms ever since. This is not hype. This is trying to make certain everybody is aware of the potential danger and to get ready ahead of time. Hyping is completely and totally the wrong thing to be doing, and I'm totally certain at this point in time that I, being a professional and a meteorologist who's been around for over 3 decades, I do my best to make certain that all the information is there for you, the viewer, to make sure that you are paying attention to. So for right now, this is what we could be looking at as we get into tomorrow afternoon and evening. So if we stand the chance of EF2 or greater amounts of severe weather, especially tornadoes, this is something we really have to pay attention to and to have a severe weather plan ready to go. We'll talk more about that coming up here in just a little bit. So what exactly are we looking for again for tomorrow? We're going to be seeing the potential. The highest potential is going to be for the odds of damaging winds, and 75 mile per hour or greater cannot be ruled out in the northern portions of the News 12 viewing area. We have to consider the possibility of tornadoes, which is not as great as damaging winds, but it is still, again, a pretty good threat for right now. We see the potential of large hail. It's not as great as everything else. Again, we showed you that purple polygon where the severe hail potential will be greatest north of us. So that and the potential of flash flooding. I think the worst part of everything will be, again, for flash flooding well up north of us where there are some flood watches and warnings in effect. So that's not what we're going to be seeing here all the way on through, but it is possible that we could be looking at a lot of activity coming through our area. Now, timing this whole thing out, and once again, my graphics are going haywire, so give me 2 seconds and I shall hunt this graphic down. Here we go. Okay, what we're going to be looking at as we go into tomorrow, before about 2 to 4 o'clock in the afternoon, west of Chattanooga, Middle Tennessee, north central parts of Alabama, moving our direction. And then as we go into the rest of the forecast, again, passing through the area right about dismissal time for the kids, right about rush hour for most of the rest of the area. And then the leading edge of that system will be heading east of us. But those storms will kind of, as the leading edge goes forward, there could be some back building going on here, and that could go on further through. But the leading edge passing through portions of the area could be going through by about 7 to 10 o'clock in the evening. So this system may drop a decent amount of rainfall and the potential of hail, damaging winds, flash flooding, all the modes we have to consider for moving on through this area. So this is what we're mainly going to be looking for into the course of the day coming up for tomorrow. This is a lot of information to throw at you, and again, I apologize if you're tuning in on YouTube or Twitch for just a basic forecast update. This is a lot of information to get through. So we tend not to overload our viewers, but we do want to make certain everybody is paying attention to what may be coming our direction. And again, for your safety, that's why we're doing this. So keep it tuned to News 12 on air and online, and we'll let you know more about that. Island Cove, again, on the EPB Fiber Optics WeatherCam network. The way things are going to work for right now is timing things out, and there's some good news and some not so good news here. The first part, again, for tomorrow, the bad news is we're looking at possibility of severe weather, very mild temperatures back in the lower 80s. So again, decently above normal for this time of the year with that enhanced risk of severe weather. Then we really drop the temperatures as that cold air rotates around the back side of that storm system. High temperatures Wednesday and Thursday will be in the 50s. It's going to be blustery. There'll be some leftover rain showers on Wednesday, but then we see again some much cooler weather. Temperatures for lows will be going back in the 30s toward the end of the week as that cold air continues to circulate in behind the back of that area of low pressure. So like me, if you have plants outdoors on the patio, the backyard, you might want to think about bringing them in, especially in the higher elevations around here, because we could be looking at more frost again. We're very close to the average last frost. I have to look that up. I'm not sure about that, but we want to make sure that all of our plants are protected. So next several days, Thursday night, Friday morning, Friday night into around Sunday morning, may want to think about bringing those plants indoors. I've got an orange tree out on the patio that I've been growing for the last 6, 7, 8 years, and I want to keep it growing if at all possible, but it's not going to like these temperatures, so I'm going to have to bring that tree back in once again. Now, good news on the far side of this forecast, the Chattanooga Lookouts, it's almost baseball season here again. The Lookouts return Tuesday, April 9th to AT&T Field in downtown Chattanooga. Really looking forward to baseball season. I hope that you are too, especially if you're in this area. So come on down to AT&T Field and give the Lookouts a great opening day. And I'm going to have to spend some more time down there. I'm hoping we can get our Friday night forecast, if they coincide with the Lookouts schedule, to be at the ballpark doing a live weather forecast. That would be kind of neat to be able to have that. Now, here's the other bit of bad news. For right now, and given that this is still several days away, on next Monday, 1 week from today, is the day we've been waiting for since 2017. The eclipse, the next total solar eclipse, will be happening. The temperatures will be pleasant. It'll be a dry day, it looks like. But unfortunately, right now, it looks like we are going to be possibly going for a mostly cloudy sky. That's not good news. I don't enjoy telling everybody about this. It would be great to have a clear sky out there for everybody. Some of this weather would be nice over here. Whether or not we get there, again, this is very far in the future, and a lot of things can change as that day gets closer to us. So hopefully by the time we get into the weekend, we'll see these chances of clouds begin to either lessen or disappear entirely. Is that a guarantee? Absolutely not, because things can change one way or the other. We could be totally overcast. I'm hoping that's not the case, but for right now, we've got plenty of sunshine going into the weekend. Hopefully that dry weather kind of extenuates itself outwards a little bit. That's where we see, again, the better potential of some more problems out there from just cloud cover, and that is going to be about it for the possibilities. So whether or not we wind up with totally clear skies, at least for right now, we're not seeing rain. I hope that that is, in fact, a possibility of being able to get cleaned up before we get into that. But we'll keep our eyes on that, excuse me, and let you know a little bit more about what may be happening out there where it comes to severe weather. Now, that's pretty much it for the weather. I do want to do a couple of notices just to make certain that everybody is paying attention and ready to go on this. If you have an electronic device, tablet, or a cell phone, please enable, if you don't have it for tomorrow, enable the wireless emergency alert section on your phone. If you don't know how to do that, or it's been a while and you turned it off a long time ago and you need help in getting that turned back on again, go to ready.gov/alerts. That right there can make certain that your phone can bring you local severe weather warnings, tornado warnings especially, and that is something that you can use to stay safe. Now, keeping an eye on what is going to be going on out there, having a plan is a serious good idea. Not getting things together when the tornado warning for your county is issued, and to take all those warnings seriously. The idea of making certain that you have things ready to go before the warnings get issued. That could save your life. It could save the life of whoever you're working with, living with, around at the time, making certain you've got all this stuff ready to go just in case. If we get into a situation where, again, it doesn't look like a major severe weather outbreak, but it does look bad enough to where we could see some tornadoes happening, and if they're detected or spotted, you may only have minutes to get to where you're going to. So again, having an out-of-town contact, if there's enough damage to local communication, you're going to want to have somebody, if you can't make a phone call across town to let your loved ones know you're okay, you might be able, maybe, to use a phone that gets a signal out or goes to an out-of-town location. And if you have a relative out of town that you can check in with, then you won't have to miss somebody else's message. You can check in with someone else. For instance, my family's out of town contact because I'm at the station, and my wife and family are up around the Signal Mountain area. If something happens, we check in with my wife's father-in-law up in Knoxville, just in case something goes haywire with the communication system, so we're both in contact, but it's of a kind of a oblique nature that we get in contact and know what's going on. The other things you need to get, again, know your county or area. A lot of people that I've spoken to don't know what county they're in or what cities are around them, and that's how the National Weather Service issues their warnings. We showed you that earlier on the maps. Keep in contact with what's going on with the weather situation through the day. Storms can develop very, very quickly, and when you see the headlines these days, the storm struck without warning, there is really, honestly, no ability, no reason to use that phrase anymore, because keeping up to date with what is going on with severe weather, that is something that keeps you from being without warning. So something to think about there. Follow the weather situation. Have a paper map, like you can keep track of everything on paper in case you lose internet access or don't have access to anything in your car. Having one handy in an emergency kit is a good idea. Charge your phones tonight. Keep them charged tomorrow. Have a portable battery-powered pack. Get that charged in case your phone goes dead. Battery-operated radio or TV, just to keep in contact with local sources. Get your keys, your wallet, your purse, your identifications in a go bag. Anything that you can use with extra flashlights and batteries just in case the power goes out. That way you have everything ready to scoop up and go. You don't have to stop and pick up the keys and pick up the wallet and pick up the flashlights and pick up the batteries and pick up this and this and this and this. You can just pick up everything in one location and get to a place of safety, because again, you may have less than a minute to get yourself someplace before a tornado or a large wind gust is a threat to you. So that is something to consider out there, just to be on the safe side. Now, once the warnings are issued, if you're out and about, keep in touch and look around you. Hopefully the business or wherever you are has a tornado shelter with an arrow sign on it someplace. Be able to get to that shelter as soon as possible. My late dad, back at the Hypermart in Topeka, Kansas, told everybody, when a tornado warning was issued, this management told everybody to get to the center of the great big gymnasium box store size place. Wrong place to get to. And he went back to the back and he told everybody, if this is the store right here, you don't want to be right here in the middle of a great big structure that has less support right in the middle. You want to be like in a tiny bathroom or a storage room well in the back of that has more structure strength to it. That's one of the best things you can possibly do. Do not shelter under a bridge or an overpass where that wind rushing through that particular area. Studies have shown that the wind gets focused through there and not only can shove you out of there, but can also push debris up and under that area, and that could make it monumentally a wrong place to be out there. So wherever you happen to be, in a store, out in the open, anything like that, your best bet, especially out and about, if you see a storm coming and there's nothing else available, don't go underneath the bridge. You may not have time to get to a structure. Find a culvert of some place to go to, because if you are in that culvert area, you're down here and the wind's going to blow the debris over the top of you. Now, if you were standing up in that, yeah, that would be a very bad idea. Lay down, maybe a muddy, watery ditch, but I would rather stink and have weed seeds all over me rather than be mowed over by a possible tornado. One of the best places that you can possibly be in a situation like that. And that may be a need for tomorrow. So something to think about on all of that. I'm kind of going through these rapid fire as much as I possibly can to make certain that you are aware of what is coming our direction. So again, this is something that we want to make certain that everybody is ready for. Unfortunately, as we said, again, into tomorrow, this could be a bit of a situation to where these storms are coming through the area or lining up to move our direction right about the time that school is out tomorrow and everybody's getting right back to school after the Easter spring break holiday area time. So it is possible that we could see maybe some early dismissals tomorrow. I'm not recommending that. That is up to the principals and the administrators. I'm saying it's possible. If that is not an endorsement for by any stretch of the imagination, I'm not making that mistake again. That is something again to pay attention to, but it's a good possibility that your kids may see some early dismissal time on the bus tomorrow, depending on how things go. This is going to be a time to make certain that you pay attention to everything happening where it comes to the weather situation, and I cannot mention that enough at this point in time, because it is looking like we could be seeing some fairly dangerous conditions about this time tomorrow. I would guess that there's a good possibility that we are not going to be able to be doing a live weather overtime tomorrow because of the fact that we just will not be able to do anything, because we may be on the air going wall to wall if we have enough tornado warnings out there. So make certain, I'm going to try to be able to be on the air and online at the same time. If we can do that, please tune into these channels, our WDEF News 12 YouTube channel, and of course I'm on Twitch as well. And when I'll be back on Facebook, well, that's up to Mr. Zuckerberg and all of his crack IT staff, because right now I'm locked out and I have no idea what else to do to get back online, and I may never be back online on Facebook the way things are going. So join me on Twitch and YouTube, and we'll keep you advised as to everything that is going on into and around the area. So we'll keep you updated on everything for right now. Think that should do it. We've been on the air for over half an hour. Didn't realize we've been going for that long, but trying to give you as much relevant information as possible so that we can make certain that you are well protected. Again, stay tuned for more information on my social media channels, again, minus Facebook, which is kind of iffy at this point. And we'll keep you advised as well on our website at WDEF.com. So definitely want to stay tuned for more as we keep you updated on that. Again, charge those cell phones, have your severe weather plan ready to go, know where your shelter is. A lot of people don't even know that much. If in an apartment building, in a department store, wherever you happen to be, now is the time to think about where the best place is to be in a severe weather situation, no matter where that happens to be. Being prepared above all things is going to be one of the best things that you can possibly do out there. So please, again, keep that in mind, and we'll bring you the latest information with everything going on as much as we possibly can. All right, I think that should do it for tonight. So we're going to go ahead and sign off so I can post this to other websites as well, so everybody can see what is happening out there. Thanks to everybody for joining us. We've had 33 viewers on YouTube. That's more than we've had in quite some time. And thanks to all the new folks for signing up on Twitch so that we can bring you more information on there. Going to try to do more live shots on line as often as we possibly can, so definitely want to stay tuned there. I'll have details tonight on News 12 at 11 with Rick Nyman on sports, Andrew Harrison on news. Chip Chapman will have your forecast bright and early tomorrow morning, both on WDEF.com and live online, which you can watch on our website if you would like to. And, of course, we'll have more throughout the day. Chip's noontime forecast tomorrow will be interesting to see what is heading our direction, and we'll also keep track as to what is going on back to our west. Keep it tuned to News 12. If you're in this area, we'll keep you advised as to what's happening. This is the place for severe weather coverage, and we'll keep you advised as the situation changes. Live and direct from downtown Chattanooga, Tennessee, southeastern United States, North America, Western Hemisphere, planet Earth, solar system, Milky Way galaxy. Thanks for joining us for Weather Overtime, our special coverage for tonight. And we'll have more details on the forecast again as we get them. So please be weather aware, stay tuned, and let's be safe out there. Stay tuned for more with News 12 tonight into tomorrow, and let's all stay safe as much as we possibly